social and political environment was created in this country. It is particularly not surprising that the 1992 Constitution, that is one of the legacies of the 31st December Revolution, has sustained us for getting close to 3 decades. And the question we normally ask was, why is it that no constitution ever survived 8 years? But the 1992 Constitution has survived over 27 years. The social infrastructure in this country has been laid under the vision of 31st December Revolution. And there are many that we cannot recount now, because as I indicated, today is not a day for speech making. The best way that Jerry John Rawlings would have expected us to respond is not the amount of tears we shed. It's not the amount of grief we have. It's not how wide the vacuum that he has left behind is. No matter the amount of tears we shed, the tears will dry. No matter the extent of our grief, that grief will abate with time. And no matter the void that we feel, there are circumstances that will fill that void over time. The only thing that will endure are the values of 31st December, for which Jerry John Rawlings stood passionately for. Fellow comrades, the only honor we can do to Jerry John Rawlings is to begin to see the relevance of 31st December Revolution in our contemporary times. How ironic is it that with all the years of a democratic experiment in which we have chalked a lot of successes, the passing of Jerry John Rawlings finds us in a very complicated, bizarre, never happened, and outright crude political crossroads. We never expected that with our experiences in democracy, we will be witnessing some of the things we are witnessing with the elections that just ended. The only word you can use to describe those developments is its level of crudity. One will expect that African elections are normally manipulated one way or the other, but one will expect that that would have been done with a bit of sophistication and decency. As we stand now, I remember when I delivered a June 4th lecture sometime, I made a statement that the future was no more the same. A number of friends asked me what that meant. And I told them that I saw it as a gravity in a railway station in Melbourne in Australia. It was many years I was to understand. As we all sit today, in terms of our current political reality, we can agree that our future is indeed no more the same. We had a very clear idea since 1993 that when elections are conducted, the winner will normally take over and this country moves on. We do have some challenges from time to time, but never did we ever experience a situation in which election results have been declared, corrected, changed, amended, and possibly only God knows what will happen next. But we members of the NDC, inspired by the spirit of 31st December Revolution, should not be deterred. something keeps telling me at the back of my mind that this is an ill wind that is blowing, and it certainly will pass. As we said during the launching of the great NDC in Cape Coast, no matter how hard the forces of reaction try, this country will never move backwards. She will always move forward. And I use this occasion to call the progressive community globally, within the African continent, within ECOWAS, and particularly within Ghana, to take more than a passing interest in terms of the interesting drama of Ghana's 2020 elections. I wish Your Excellency and fellow comrades the occasion permitted me to share some issues with you. But I will have to take the first cue of discipline that this is supposed to be a brief and solemn commemorative event. I will not say more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Benjamin Kumbuo, for that wonderful address. Anyone share onupai komeni yobiene titri woje majancheme isani woji ameko kechon ye wo numo oyeni ke numo osukloti ame machon ye ame yempa ikegbele ni ana wa wo twade e ha me numo oyeni ke nya wo na anye yanu se wonye woni ayi akagbaje ochami lehun eyebiene numo oiradon ake oba wonye ni akron ajeshi moniji edwe abola jaseche ni wondaboshi ake oyebiene wonye ni abose okan niji abose okan manche ena hon spare pass ye ni wondaboshi ake oyebiene agbene wonye ni abola niji ni ahene nunu abola manche ni wondaboshi wa ake oba yene keni femo ne odasi inchonye yu ake papa ne kaji ato mokoni eche yelumo seno eda femo femo ye gane leji ni ayikan moniji eten akamaje manche ni lebadon manche manfe anajia ni e hwe fofo e hawo na kan no wonye ni akwete koblan akwete mamanche leun e biene ni wondaboshi ake oba makunse maba ekon ni mamajie onupa ni obi ene kechon. And on that note obache womami onyemi yo ni echakochone eyadumo NDC aflangana ni ewu eya NDC e ni eyekuni ye krowo koinsuensi e ni ebadumo MPs ni elect fenagia ni eke wonoko. I shall now invite the MP elect of Krowo constituency, Honorable Agnes Na Momo Lati, to speak on the behalf of all MPs elect. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, Your Excellencies, John Dramani Mahama and Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, national and regional executives, members of parliament, Nime, Name, distinguished guests, the media, comrades, ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate all present and those watching us or listening to us from all over the world. Though several decades ago, the hope inspired by the events of 31st December is the same hope we sought to inspire in Ghanaians when we embarked on our rescue mission. The principles of the revolution and the charisma of our late founder and father, may his soul rest in peace, still lives on. We seek to restore hope to the teeming women, men, and youth of Ghana. As we gather here to commemorate this day, it is also because we do not assume that the principles of probity, accountability, and social justice would be upheld by all who take up leadership positions in Ghana. And for that matter, a constant reflection in this manner is needed to continue to serve this nation selflessly to the benefit of all, but not just few. The quest to deepen these principles is a path to chart to honor our fallen heroes and a legacy they bequeathed us. The revolution gave focus to economic empowerment and skills development of the people of Ghana, especially women. The livelihoods of women in the informal sector were significantly supported. Your Excellency, the People's Manifesto is the dawn of a new era, and its implementation is one of the surest ways to sustain the values of the 31st December, to give power to the people and prosperity as a reward for patriotism and hard work. It fuels the hope and aspirations of Ghanaians, especially the youth. Comrades, today, with the collapse of the financial institutions, the business of most entrepreneurs have suffered a great deal. This has been worsened by the lack of attention to the informal sector where most women economically operate. The low number of appointed and elected women in various leadership positions is another challenge to confront radically if we have to fight as a party and a nation to sustain the values of the revolution. The party's move to appoint the first female running mate as a major political party in Ghana deserves high commendation as we mark this day. I want to say thank you, Your Excellency. We as women in politics are greatly inspired. We believe with the opportunity to form the next government, the loyalty of women in the party will not go unrecognized. Seasons are gradually changing. This country will only deteriorate when we adopt a culture of silence. There is no blinking at the fact that what used to be the rights of people is fast becoming a privilege that is dished out at the whims or caprices of others. All we have is each other as a people, and our determination and unflinching desire to seek justice, fairness, and accountability firmly established as pillars of our dear nation. There should be neither Jew nor Gentile because of one's ethnicity, social status, religious or political affiliation, or sex. That's the only way those who hunger and thirst for what is right for this nation shall be satisfied. Like Martin Luther King, Your Excellency, Nime, Name, I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made straight, that the glory therein shall be revealed. We will hold on to faith, hope, and truth as the moral fiber of this nation in the face of hostilities, frustrations, and despair. Comrades, I say to us all today, we shall overcome. We shall surely overcome. We shall overcome one day. Deep in our hearts, I know we believe that we shall overcome one day. Afi o, Afi. God bless Ghana God bless the NDC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Agnes Namomo Latte. God bless Ghana and God bless the NDC. If I feel like any wash, well, Hena no Beme ni obi ene Obasumake Waji Amepo Kechon. Can claim ni ake Egbe Hamie Egbeji Honorable Moses Asaga, who is a former member of Parliament. Honorable, thank you so much for coming. Honorable Issa Salifu, who is the security in charge. Thank you so much. Honorable Ajay Mensah, MP for Wasa East and former Deputy Minister of Roads. Thank you so much for coming. Honorable Nilaye Afote Agbo, MP for Po Katamanso, Numbo Iradon Ake Oyebie. Agbene, the son of man, Honorable Samuel Okujato Ablakwa, former Deputy Minister of Education and MP for South Tong. Of course, we have the host MP, the former Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Edwin Ni Lante Okunka Blebojang Vanderpoy Ni Oiradon Oawo Eme Ye BNA. Honorable Sylvester Mensah, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman Adekoka. Thank you so much for coming and for hosting, for your region hosting this occasion. We have Joshua Akamba, we have Peter Buama Otokuno, Barbara Asamoah, Madam Sherry Aiti, all national executives here. We thank you so much for coming. Former Minister, former Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Do Ajao, thank you so much for coming, Honorable. The Vice Chairman of the Central Planning Committee, Dr. Niama Donko. The Chairman of the Central Planning Committee, who just gave us an address, Dr. Ben Kumbuo, thank you so much. Of course, we have our party chairman, the national chairman of our party, Honorable Samuel Ofosu Ampofo, also here with us. This one needs no introduction. The Vice President-elect, take it or leave it, the mother of the nation and the person of Her Excellency, Madam Jane Nana Opoku Ajimai. And as for our father, we all know he's here. He is the president-elect and not the president-elected. His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama. Daddy, thank you so much for coming. I will have to go and come back, and then introduce the others that I don't have their names on my list. Anyway, we shall take an address from the national chairman of the party in the person of Honorable Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. Okay. Eba femi ake chake mo ko fio eba. Chake mo fio ko eba. Ni kaji oshi ose no ku ose no yakọ je tomoni. Eni wo she wona yue lo neji wo guest speaker le eba yue ketron yin dani wo national chairman baba. Nyawo ke de twa akpia Honorable Dan Abodakpi, who is the guest speaker for this morning's occasion.
MC, Comrade Excellencies, comrades, senior comrades and friends, distinguished comrades and invited guests, I don't intend making a long speech here this morning, especially after the very brilliant but short address by Dr. Kumbo and our MP-elect for Krowo. Actually, since certain events happened, I have not fully recovered my thought processes. But be that as it may, I want to thank the organizing committee and the national executive of our party for putting this program together. My information at first was their desire to hold this event in the hometown of our father, Jerry John Rawlings. But we counseled that since he was still in the morgue situation where we have an afternoon vigil with customary arrangements to mark the day, and that would have taken a little bit more of time. So I am happy that the executives, the planning committee have shifted the program to this memorable park. Thank you very much. Comrades, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are in very uncertain times. But as revolutionaries, we believe that K-Days will come, K-Days will go, but the revolution has come to stay. Revolution has a long way to go, but has come to stay. Okay, there's Thank you very much, comrades. Thank you very much. As I said, we are in very uncertain times. And as our flag bearer and President-elect put it very succinctly in his address, this country is being pushed to the precipice. But because we are revolutionaries and have a duty to our country, we will not let this country go down the precipice. Comrades, but the only way that will happen is when we remain united and steadfast. Please remember, comrades, that the people united can never be defeated. A people united can never be defeated. Once again, a people united can never be defeated. A people united. But we must be united around core principles. We must be united united around critical values. And those values were taught us. Those values were espoused by our leader, our founder, who has been called into glory and eternity. So as we hold this event to commemorate his passing, and let me remark here that his passing is just like the way he came. Unannounced, unexpected. If somebody had told me that Abodakwi about a month or so ago that I'll be attending this function in the absence of President John Rawlings, I would have told the person to go to hell. It wasn't going to happen. But that is life. And that is how he himself chose it. He came all of a sudden, 15th May, came back through the help of loyal comrades on June 4th. Decided that we should go the way of democracy and handed over power. But when he saw that the values, the principles for which people had to be executed were being flagrantly abused, he came back to launch the revolution that will end all revolutions, the 31st December Revolution. President Rawlings was a very fierce adherent to the principles and values that he believed in: probity, accountability. And he lived what he practiced. I can't stand here to testify that Jerry Rawlings was not materialistic. Like the great Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Jerry Rawlings didn't chase after material acquisitions. I can stand here and testify. Even in retirement, President Rawlings will sign for an overdraft to pay for people's school fees, health needs, etc. That's who he was. He was a true human, very altruistic, fighting for the benefits and the rights of other people. But above all, President Rawlings believed that this country, Ghana, can become as great as any other country in the world, provided we allow ourselves to be guided by the principles of property, accountability, honesty. So he lived those values, those principles. Now that he is gone, the party that he founded to be used as a vehicle for realizing the true democratic aspirations of the people, that party, the National Democratic Party, the National Democratic Congress, must begin serious reintrospection to ensure that those values, those attributes, those principles upon which we were founded are indeed being lived. President Rawlings warned us at Cape Coast that those other parties, the Elephant Party, was founded on certain values and attributes that no matter how we try to mimic them, we will never be equal to them. So this party is different, must be different from the other political parties. Today, our democracy is being militarized. We are seeing things that at the launch of the revolution, at the beginning of the democratic process, we never thought that was going to happen. But those things are happening. But I believe, and I'm sure we all do believe, that if we organize people, if we organize properly, and let the mass of our people begin to really see us as not only using them to take political power, but making sure that power really belongs to them, no obstacle will stand in the way of the forward march of this country. The practice of democracy in our party henceforth must be truly inclusive, must be truly participatory, and must be based on honesty, probity, and accountability. That is the only way we can be enshrining the memory of the man who we're trying to commemorate today. Comrade, Excellencies, distinguished comrades, I have had occasion to have a conversation severally with our leader before he passed on. And one of the things that he had told me, that having experimented with the neoliberal policies that we were forced to undertake after over 20 years, it was time to begin the national democratic revolution, and that we should start looking at our own party to make sure that our people truly own our party. For the current leaders, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that is the unfinished agenda. That all of us must join hands to make sure that they are realized. President Rawlings, without doubt, was and will always remain a symbol of honesty, a symbol of probity and accountability, and a strong believer in participatory democracy. And I want to pledge on behalf of all true comrades that as long as God gives us life, we will continue to work to ensure the true realization of these noble values, principles that he had.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dan Abodakwi. Let's give him a round of applause. Nyawotwa de wa eha wo papa ke wiemo ngomo ni ekema wo jeno se ekai eblemani elafe fo ye ayegbemi. Nyawotwa de wa eha le shukome eko wobaya no ni wojie wo hena no gbeme konkome ni yobi ene ni kenklen moni yo nwolu eno egbeji na odole soa MP elect of Ladade Kotopon leji moni e afa moni ka cholo ba mami oiradon ake oba former MP and former Minister of Information Honorable Freeze Bafuo, thank you so much ake oyebiene former Roads Minister, former Transport Minister and former MP of Efutu Honorable Mike Hammer, thank you so much. Former Central Regional Minister Honorable Aquinas Tayua Kwansa, thank you ake won oba. Director of Operations Lieutenant Colonel Bevlo Lati leun eyebiene Honorable Kofi Ato, National Vice Chairman Bon Wandaboshi ake oba, thank you for coming. And of course Prosper Bani, Honorable Prosper Bani, former Chief of Staff Bon Wandaboshi ake oba. Jeno wanya kapana ake moni nye wanyi ni ehawo Muslim foye asolemo ekpeji Alhaji Ismail Gamina ekewoye biene ni numo Wandaboshiwa ake oye biene o sofoni domo wona ni esoli ye Christopher agbefan ehawo right Reverend Joshua Amogi Kwaku leun ekewoye biene o sofo Wandaboshiwa ake oba agbene ni adote otinto niji sempe manche efamo eche ni amaye nekeni femo ne yodasi ni ameji ni ado ayi ado niji sempe ochami keni ado mensa sempe principal elder wondanye shiwa ake nye biene nye yenekeno femo ne odasi eni woshe wakede trabakpe wo national chairman ni ebadwa wotu engbe nya wo twade wa eha wo national chairman.
Thank you very much, Mantowe and your group. Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, the leader of our party, Your Excellency, Professor J. Nana Opoku Ajimai, Right Honorable Do Ajahu, former Speaker of Parliament. Naime, members of the clergy, our Muslim leaders, National Executive Committee members, members of Parliament and MPs elect, comrades of the Great Revolution, fellow Akatamansonians, our friends from the media. Last year around this time, we were with our founder, the former president, His Excellency, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. In Winnipeg, where the 38th anniversary celebration of the 31st December Revolution was marked. During his address, he wanted to tell us a story. And he paused and said, there is no time, so I will wait. And when I get another opportunity, I will tell you the full story. Little did he know, or did we know, that today we'll be celebrating the 39th anniversary celebration of 31st December Revolution without the main architect, our late President Jerry John Rawlings. May his soul rest in perfect peace. But as we stand here, I want to pledge on behalf of the great NDC that will continue to uphold the principles, the values, and the ethos that he cherished, that he fought for, that he lived for, and that he died for. And to assure him that the party he founded and at a point in time used his blood to sign the constitution of that party will continue to grow from strength to strength. And that spirit of resilience, the never say die spirit, will continue to permeate in all that we do as a party. And we will continue to live by the adage, Ukuma Pima Apembeba. Your Excellencies, we are celebrating this day under the theme, the legacies of His Excellency and the 31st December Revolution. The legacies has been espoused by earlier speakers. Among other things, probity, accountability, transparency, social justice, and ensuring there is equity and equitable distribution of the national resources. This has underpinned the party which has accepted 31st December every year as one of the major calendar activities on the parties or in the party constitution. And so we want to assure all and sundry that for as long as the NDC party lives, 31st December Revolution will be celebrated year in and year out. The perpetual flame that has been lit will never be extinguished, because the principle for which it has been lit will continue to move Ghana and define our governance structure and institutions. When we talk about accountability, I'll focus on democratic accountability. Under democratic accountability, we as a country decided that we will accept democracy as a way of life. And for that matter, establish institutions that will guide our democratic process. And one of those institutions is the Electoral Commission, which is supposed to handle our electoral processes at all levels, from the unit committees, district assemblies, constituency elections, national elections, presidential and parliamentary elections. That institution is to ensure that we respect the will of the people. And it's supposed to ensure that nothing is done to subvert the will of the good people of this country. So as a party, we set out to participate in the 2020 elections with a clear objective. That objective was to win majority in parliament and win the presidency and be given the opportunity to govern this country. As a result of that, we christened our campaign the Rescue Mission. And I must say that I have been in this party from its inception. This 2020 election was one of the well-executed elections by the National Democratic Congress. Every attempt was made to put stumbling blocks in our way. A calculated and long-term plan, including ensuring that our messages could not even reach the nook and cranny of this country by closing down radio stations that are associated or believe in the principle of the NDC. The leader of our party, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, was not perturbed. He decided to take the rescue mission and the People's Manifesto and its content to the people, because he realized that the medium by which we could speak and reach out to the people, those medium had been callously curtailed. And so he waged one of the most difficult campaigns, I believe, in the life of our party, by making sure that the content of the People's Manifesto is sent to every part of this country. I had the opportunity of moving with him, and for the first time in my history as a politician, I observed what we call from crane to crane campaign. Those of you who understand those words, we use them in school. When we are going into exams, we say that we are going to mining, and we are going to learn from crane to crane, which means that when you enter the classroom, you will not come back until the next morning. I experienced this, that we leave in the morning and come back the next morning. And sometimes I ask him, Your Excellency, what is your secret? Because he has the strength to talk and address the people. And what carried us and motivated us is that even 3 a.m., the people will be ready to receive our message of hope. And I dare say that the good people of this country received our message. And the good people of this country did not disappoint us. The good people of this country went out and voted for change. And I want, on behalf of the leadership of the party, salute constituencies that we have not won 24 years. Teresa is here, Ablekuma North, we won it. Upper Denchira West, we have not won. Okakwe North, sorry, Teresa, Okakwe North, for 24 years. Upper Denchira West, for 24 years. The people said they wanted change. No. I am talking about constituencies, Tema East, for so many years. We swept the seats in Greater Accra. We swept the seats across the country. We want to say authoritatively that the NDC believe that we have a majority in parliament. We will use every legitimate and legal means to defend that majority. We will not allow anybody to subvert the will of the good people of this country. We will have our majority in parliament. We will elect the next speaker of parliament Because the people of Ghana have spoken, and the voice of the people represents the voice of God. Your Excellency, for the past few weeks, when we called our pink sheets and were looking for young men and women to come and help us to analyze the pink sheets, I was surprised at the commitment, the resilience, the determination of the young ones. This party has a future. NDC has a future. Nobody can kill NDC because NDC has a future. Our young ones were there. Sleepless nights. They never slept. They analyzed our pitches. I want to salute Comrade Kofi Totobikwachi, Comrade Elvisankra, Comrade Larry Bevrolate, and several of our national leaders. On this auspicious day, I have just come to give hope to our party that our performance in the just ended election shows what a united and determined people can achieve when they resolve to achieve that. Only a few days ago, we met as a National Executive Committee, together with our Council of Elders, senior members of the party, our MPs elect, and resolved that we believe in the principal position that our leader and our incoming president, John Dramani Mahama, has taken. Prior to the elections, President Mahama said that he was not going to accept a flawed resource. Consistent with that principle, he came out and said that the outcome of this election is flawed, and so he will not accept the outcome. 3 days ago, the constituent body of the party met and resolved unanimously to support our leader for the position that we have taken. We will not carry guns. We will not carry sticks. We will not burn cars. We will not burn markets. After all, we build markets. We don't burn markets. If you go around this country, every major market in this country was built by the NDC. So those who want to burn markets and turn around and say the NDC are burning markets, there is a greater judge in heaven who sees their activities. Your Excellency, the principle that our late president and the architect of the 31st December Revolution stood for is that even though he came as a military man, when he set up the NCD, National Commission for Democracy, led by the late Justice D.F. Annan, when their recommendation came that we should go democratic way, he willingly accepted and decided that he will end the revolution and go into multi-party democracy. We fought the elections in 1992. We won convincingly. President Rawlings allowed institutions of state to function. I recall in 2000 elections, when he was still the president of the Republic of Ghana, during the 2000 elections, our comrade and friend, Honorable Nyoma Donko, was the minister for Ashanti region. There was a time that the military came out during the process of the elections. The man who came as a military person and accepted democracy asked that the military should go back to the barracks and that the electoral commission must be allowed to do their job. And I remember that Nyoma Donko went and made an announcement and the military went back to the barracks. Paradoxically, we have a leader who says that he is a Democrat and believes in democracy. During his tenure, during the election period, the Electoral Commission job has been taken over, and military men and other security agencies go into collation centers and force returning officers to declare results. This is the Ghana we find ourselves in. Where is the moral society? Where is the voices of the moral society? As I speak to you now, 8 people lost their lives during this election. And the best description is that a few deaths regrettably occurred. For us, losing the life of 8 people, the late President Jerry John Rawlings will not be happy about it. The NDC party under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama is not happy about it. Today, Tajuddin Al-Hassan, 39-year-old from Tachiman South in the Bono region. Abdallah Ayarik, 18-year-old from Tachiman South in the Bono region. Emmanuel Dompre, 36-year-old from Odododio in Greater Accra. Samira Zakaria, 14-year-old from Savlugu in the northern region. Ibrahim Abbas, 30-year-old from Ablekuma Central, whom we were told was enlisted into the Ghana Police Service, but because of fear of gun, decided to leave the police service, only to die from gunshot when he just went into a collation center to observe how the collation was going to take place. Rita Otu, 15-year-old from Odododio in Greater Accra. Fuseni Musa, 14-year-old from Savlugu. And Silas Wulo Chame, a young College of Education graduate from Banda in the Bono region, was murdered in cold blood because somebody wanted to be president at all costs. President Mahama said that in his quest to become president, he wouldn't allow a single pint of blood to be dropped. So I want to assure our teaming supporters that we will not allow anybody to subvert the will of the people. And we will give our legal team all the support. I only ask for one thing. Let's bond together as a party. Let's unite our forces as a party. Let's come together to fight the injustice in the system. What President Rawlings stood for was social justice. And social justice is not to subvert the will of the people. I want to thank you and salute you again, and to say that it is not over until it is all over. If comrades here can help me to sing this song, we are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know we will. We will gather. Heaven knows that we will gather. We know we will. It will be. And the road will be not in rough bed. The heaven knows that we will gather. We know we will. Your Excellency, President Mahama, we know that the road will be tough. The road will be hard. But we have judges on this earth. But we have one almighty judge who supersedes all judges. We know the God factor is on your side. And we want to rely on that God factor. Even though we are in court, we believe that the greatest judge is God. So as a party, we will back our legal action with prayers to the Almighty God. We will declare 3 days prayers and fasting. And we know that the Almighty God will hear us. And victory will be ours. Thank you, and God bless us all.
We know we will get there. And certainly, we shall get there. Thank you so much, National Chairman, for that insightful speech. Thank you so much. Now we are telling the whole world that the NDC are masters of building markets and not the burners of markets, as they would want us to believe. National Chairman, Wondaboshiwa, Keneke, Ewale Woyumo, Ni Okehawo, Yen Minute Bene no, Banyawa Kebwake, with this speech. Oh, Ewale, no fe o ba dumoshi, no fe ekome, ni kunim yeli, ni Sir John Dramani Mahama ka NDC party e, beni wo ya neke kojomo se nde ye, nani mo ba nwe awo. Nya wo twa de wa, eya wo national chairman. Eba femi ake Kume Eshe Indi Ni Kako Ameba Amegbeji Honorable Alex Segbefia, former Minister of Health, Honorable Enchibosiako, former Minister Employment and Social Welfare. Honorable, thank you so much for coming. Eba femi ake anyone share ichonye yake papa ne eyano baji le ko ichon alomi male wolele omo leji moninga na mafe kake Wonsumake keje 2021 kagbe 2025 eye wo yin ake president she me come into amefe come na me question wodi but we are telling them ake bofe na mafe obaye woni ensumo ma UAP she obate shika oshebo kedede femo ni wo kakpe the president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Ejo, Suzusa. Alright, for God, operation of the land, for weather and seek your future, development our God. From vision to beginning, the end is surely. Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From vision to beginning, the end is surely. Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. Ejo bana e.
Mo fẹ́ mọ ìrànlọ́ ní àwọn fẹ́ wọ́n wo àwọn tẹ̀sí ló mú ẹ̀ bá yú yìí ní àwọn fẹ́ wọ́n wo àwọn tẹ̀sí ló mú ẹ̀ bá yú yìí ní ìrànlọ́.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Benjamin Kumbo, Chairman of the Planning Committee of the 31st December anniversary. Excellency Professor James Nana Opoku-Agyeman, our National Chairman, executives of our party, Council of Elders, activists, full soldiers, cadres, assembly members, unit committee members. Let me thank all of you for coming here to continue our remembrance of the events of 31st December 1981, but also to pay our respects to our late founder, Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, and to say that the flame that he lit in 1981 and has continued to burn for 39 years will continue to burn forever. We've had a simple and solemn occasion this morning, and that is how he would have wanted it. But let me commend the smart outturn of the young people who conducted the parade, because that gives me the assurance that the younger generation that will carry on this revolutionary legacy is already in place. As our national chairman said, 1 year ago we gathered together in Winneba to commemorate the 38th anniversary of the 31st December Revolution. And the founder of our party, chairman of the PNDC, leader of the revolution, former president, Jerry Rawlings, was with us. That morning, he was in very high spirits. And little did we know that we will spend this 39th anniversary just a year after without him, and that death will snatch him in a surprising manner, just as the same way he burst onto the political scene of this country. On that day, I remember he was honored as a warrior chief by the people of Efutu in recognition of his role in the founding of the Fourth Republic. He was giving a traditional smoke, and he was giving a traditional whip that the chiefs carry. And he was giving the name Okoji Amang, a kind of recognition for the work he did in the founding of the Fourth Republic. It was a fitting honor to a man who is uncontestably the founder of our Fourth Republic and responsible for the rights and freedoms that we enjoy in Ghana today. As I sat next to him, I commented on his outfit because the smoke he was giving had some calabashes and talismans on it. And he was holding the whip and he kept brandishing it. And I asked him, I said, "You seem to have some evil intention with this whip." And he said, "Oh, I'm thinking of the people that I should whip with this whip that I've been given." He never told me who he wanted to whip, but I'm sure there are many people that he would have wanted to use that whip on. My comrades and friends, the revolution was not perfect. As we know, every human event is never perfect. And like any human being, our founder, leader of the revolution, Chairman Rawlings, was not perfect. But the sum of what he did on earth, especially from the age of 33 when he burst onto the political scene of Ghana, and the some events of the 31st December Revolution represent a kind of atonement for the ills of the past. The revolution therefore bequeathed to us the principle of holding to account persons entrusted with public responsibility, since, as we know, sovereignty resides with the people. The revolution also bequeathed to us a growing economy that ensured stability for our country's progress over the years. It also, more importantly, bequeathed to us a constitution that was drafted by the ordinary people of this country. And it is because of the drafting of that constitution by the butchers, the dressmakers, the hairdressers, the mechanics, and other ordinary people of this country, teachers, farmers, fishermen. That has made this constitution the most enduring constitution in the history of Ghana. The constitution of the Fourth Republic has outlasted any other constitution. And as we know, several of those constitutions that did not see an enduring legacy were drafted by small groups of learned people who professed to have the repository of what was good for this country. But when the PNDC gave the opportunity to the ordinary people to come and draft the constitution that they wanted, they drafted the Fourth Republican Constitution, which has proved to be the best constitution and the most lasting constitution we've ever had in the history of Ghana. As a party born out of the events of 31st December, it is our duty to uphold the principles of probity and accountability as a part of our national life and daily practice. Our party has chalked many successes and has also faced many challenges. My brothers and sisters, we went into the last election barely 2 weeks following the death of the founder of our party. Despite the shock of this incident, our party, the NDC, performed creditably in the face of the many challenges that faced us, such as lack of resources and going up against an opponent who had no qualms in using money and inducements and also even use of brute military force to influence the outcome of the election. Our party's organization in going into this past election was reminiscent of our revolutionary past. The Speak Out tour that we undertook, during which we went down to the grassroots and organized the ordinary people of this country and consulted them on what we felt the most critical and pressing issues were to them, I think was a refreshing blast from the past. Then again, when we had to put together our manifesto, we went down to the ground, met professional groups, farmers, fishermen, trade unionists, lawyers, doctors, teachers, nurses, and indeed any imaginable group that you can think of. We met them and sought their views as to what they would want a future NDC to do for them. It was an aggregation of their opinions and their thoughts that came out in the People's Manifesto. And I dare say that the People's Manifesto is one of the most progressive manifestos ever produced in the democratic history of this country. Aside from that, our reversal to the principles of the past included the commitment of our executives, our foot soldiers, and our activists, and the sacrifices they made to contribute to our victory was phenomenal. Many people at the peril of their lives, and we lost some in accidents. Many people utilized their own resources, material, physical, moral, to work for the party in this last election. Aside from that, our selection of the first female running mate of a major political party also cemented our commitment and our reputation as a party that has the greatest commitment to women's empowerment in Ghana. The events of the last election are still playing out following the resolution by the highest decision-making body of our party, the National Executive Committee, directing that we file an election petition before the Supreme Court to challenge the declaration of the EC in respect to the last presidential election. The party has also resolved to resort to the courts to challenge some of the parliamentary election results declared by the EC. I'll therefore leave comments on these issues for now as events play out in court. But let me on this occasion salute all our supporters, our foot soldiers and activists for the wonderful role they played in the outcome of this election. I also want to salute all Ghanaians who came out to exercise their franchise in the process of voting in order to determine the leadership of this country over the next 4 years. But most of all, I stand here to salute the memory of those who died in this exercise, not only in the election, but even in the registration process leading up to the election. These were people who just sought to exercise what is guaranteed to them by the 1992 Constitution, to exercise their democratic rights and freedoms. Nobody should die exercising those fundamental rights. And it's a duty of any government to protect the lives of our citizens and ensure that no blood is shed as a result of people's right to choose their leaders. And so today we salute the memory of these people who died. And however long it takes, I assure and promise that justice will be done to them and appropriate compensations given the families. But comrades, now is the time for us to remain committed and united to the cause of our party. And the question that we should ask ourselves at this 39th anniversary of the revolution is, how do we preserve the principles of the revolution and the memory and legacy of our founder, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings, for posterity? He said in a letter to me, when we offered to have him named on the FPSO for the ENI Sankofa field, he said, "I prefer to be remembered in the hearts of men than by monuments and statues." And so he did not seek to have his name on monuments and statues. He said he wanted to be remembered in the hearts of men. And I believe that the only vehicle and the best vehicle that can ensure that he's remembered in the hearts of men is the vehicle of the political party that he founded, and that is the National Democratic Congress. Comrades, this is the reason why we must recommit ourselves to the cause of our party, the NDC. I know, like every human institution, we might have our disagreements, but let us have and put as the focus of all of us that protecting the revolutionary origins of our party and the legacy of our founder is the main objective that we all want to achieve. I dare say no one person can fill Jerry Rawlings' shoes. No one person can encapsulate the charisma, the political wit, and the courage exhibited by our late founder. And since no one person can fill those shoes, it means that it will take a collective responsibility for us to be able to keep this party together and make it a vehicle that would live forever and continue to commemorate not only this event, but the principles and legacies for which it stood. And therefore, I urge that we should recommit at this 39th anniversary that all of us will work together, and that even when we have differences of opinion, we will resolve them in a way as not to endanger the future of our party. and that we will continue to work together as one collective to ensure that the memories of those who laid down their lives for our fourth Republican Constitution is never extinguished. And so on this occasion, I say, a luta continua, victoria asserta. May the struggle continue, and may victory be our portion. I thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama. Ebafe me ake ene washe wake woni femo baba na agbe. Shi gameke shida eya ake wache ke wena sanegba ni wake woni tumo ba na agbe. Wake egbe ma shiache ni eha wo heme ye bie kia woni femo ne. No nya wake ditwa akpea Honorable Edwin ni Lante Okunka Bleboja Vanderpool ni Imhawo Shida.
Your Excellencies, senior comrades of the Revolution, I wish to express my gratitude to be called upon to offer the vote of thanks. And seeing my seniors, W. Donko, Alote, and Salifu here gives me fond memories. I don't know what went into deciding that we'll have this 39th anniversary celebration and commemoration here in Ododo Diodio. And also here at this Usikain Park. But for the young ones who don't know, today, just around this time, was the day the young men and women of this area stood up against the reactionary forces on the 19th of July. Here, when Fusenu Beture snatched the weapon from the police officer guarding the bank, this is where we encountered him. Young men and women without arms stood and fought them when they are broken away from the Osherford prisons. So deciding to hold this event here is a reminder to all of us, the young men and women of this constituency, that the sustainability of the revolution rests on our shoulders. Lana jeye biene mene sane kai wo no kwa kehie afi nyoma tekene hu ne oblayin ko blaye ni jakuto na mi tesha medomoshi many eteshi amewo Jerry John Rawlings ka revolution bie na kan bia me wo ka me no ye bie ne ni wo hie tui ke klante keche ni wo yi ameno nkuni wo use toy ke tay no ka me no ye na kan bia me amete me ko meja kucho na me. I can mention Erika Sari, I can mention Adabuga. We all grew up here together. And we didn't care because we believed in the revolution. So we defended the revolution against those reactionary forces. Bringing it back here today, and from the speeches that have been given, I want to call on the young men and women of Ododo Diodio, of Ashedu Keteke, Odonia Manfo, Aname Anate, Gamashi, to rise up and be men and women who will want to stand against the forces of progress and people who want to mutilate our democracy that we have fought to build in the country today. I want to thank all of you for coming. Your Excellency, the President-elect, Your Excellency, the Vice President-elect, the National Chairman who has set a record. My Right Honorable Speaker, the Planning Committee Chairman and Vice, and also Senior Comrade
Avivia de la Signe.